application that's been developed about how quickly we learn what's going on about the employment picture. Housing is very different. For some measures, like sales for construction, there's roughly a 3-week lag between when a month ends. This is all, I should say, this is all about the residential side. Roughly a 3-week lag between when the month ends and we learn about construction and sales. And, as I mentioned, a roughly 5 to 8 week lag to learn what's happened to price trends. For instance, next week, the most watched sales price index, Case-Shiller, will report at the end of February what happened to sales prices in December, 8 weeks ago. On top of that, sales prices are the end of a process that is largely set at the time that a listing tends to go off the market. There's a very tight correlation between the last listing price, the last asking price, and what something ultimately goes under contract and sells for. Now, it's not perfect. This is why this is a leading indicator, not the official historical record looking back. But with a 3-month lag, the value of leading indicators is clearly very high. So what we do every month is we look at what has happened to the trend of asking prices. Now, asking prices, of course, are influenced by the mix of homes that happen to be on the market, both the mix of their attributes, and as we've seen, as more foreclosures come off the market, the average square footage of the typical listed home has gone up. We also see that the neighborhood that a typical home is in is also changing. Again, as a lot of foreclosures come off the market, the average income, average price per square foot, of the neighborhood the typical home is in is also going up. So we adjust for all these things in order to build what's essentially a proper price index, but based instead on asking prices rather than sales prices. And we come out with this a couple days after the month ends. What it has shown us so far is several months ahead of other indexes, the price turnaround that we started to see, it turns out, at the beginning of last year. So asking prices, according to our price monitor, started to show positive month-over-month changes last February. Year-over-year changes turned positive later last year, but the earliest sign of a price recovery nationally, based on asking prices, turned out to be last February. And indeed, a couple months later, when those data finally came out, we saw this in the sales price indexes as well. This is analogous to the Billion Prices Project in MIT, other big data attempts to try to understand inflation and general price indexes using prices posted online. A way of using non-traditional data in order to get a better or earlier proxy of what's going on in the market.